Have you ever reached the checkout and suddenly felt nervous? The cashier speaks quickly, the payment machine is ready, and you only catch a few words. Maybe you hear bag, card, or receipt, but the full question is gone before you can process it. Today, we are going to make checkout English feel familiar. We will follow one complete supermarket checkout from beginning to end. You do not need to memorize everything. You only need to hear the same useful patterns enough times for your ears to recognize them. Imagine that you are standing in line with a few groceries. You place your items on the belt and walk toward the cashier. The cashier smiles and says hello. You may hear, "How are you?" You may also hear, "How's it going?" A short answer is enough. You can say, "Good, thanks," or you can say, "Pretty good, thanks." Then the cashier starts scanning your items. One common question is, did you find everything okay? The cashier is simply asking whether you found what you needed. If everything was fine, you can say, "Yes, I did, thanks." If you could not find something, you can mention it briefly. Do not worry if you miss part of the question. If you hear "find" and "everything," the situation often gives you the rest of the meaning. Next, the cashier may ask, "Do you have a rewards card?" This means the store wants to know whether you have a membership card. If you have one, you can say, "Yes, here you go." If you do not have one, say, "No, I don't." You may also hear loyalty card or member. The wording changes, but the idea is the same. Now comes one of the most common checkout questions. Do you need a bag? If you need one, say, "Yes, please." If you do not need one, say, "No, thanks." If you brought your own bag, you can say, "I have my own bag, thanks." You may also hear, "Would you like a bag?" Again, the meaning is the same. Once you hear the word bag, you usually know what the cashier is asking. After everything is scanned, you may hear anything else. This means the cashier wants to know whether you need one more thing. If you are finished, say, "No, that's all, thanks." You can also say, "That's everything." "That's all" is a very useful phrase in stores, cafes, and restaurants. Now it is time to pay. The cashier may ask, "Cash or card?" If you are using a card, say "Card, please." If you are paying with cash, say "Cash, please." Sometimes the cashier does not ask anything. The payment machine simply becomes ready. You may hear, "You can tap when you're ready." You may also hear, "Go ahead and tap." Both mean that you can use contactless payment now. If tapping does not work, the cashier may ask you to insert your card. Another common question is, debit or credit? You can simply answer, "Debit," or you can answer, "Credit." A one-word answer is completely natural here. Sometimes the cashier may ask whether you want to make a donation. You can say, "Sure," or you can say, "Not today, thanks." You do not need to explain your answer. After the payment goes through, the cashier may ask about your receipt. You may hear, "Would you like your receipt?" You may also hear, "Do you need a receipt?" If you want it, say, "Yes, please." If you do not want it, say, "No, thanks." Some stores may ask whether you want an email receipt or a paper receipt. You can simply choose the one you prefer. At the end, the cashier may say, "You're all set." This means the checkout is finished. You may also hear, "You're good to go." Then the cashier may say, "Have a good day." A natural answer is, "Thanks, you too." Now let us hear the whole checkout as one smooth conversation. The cashier says, "Hi, how's it going?" You answer, "Pretty good, thanks." The cashier asks, "Did you find everything okay?" You answer, "Yes, I did, thanks." Then the cashier asks whether you have a rewards card. You say, "No, I don't." Next comes the bag question. You say, "I have my own bag, thanks." After scanning everything, the cashier asks, "Anything else?" You answer, "No, that's all." Then you hear, "Cash or card?" You say, "Card, please." The cashier tells you that you can tap. You tap your card and the payment goes through. Then the cashier asks whether you want your receipt. You say, "No, thanks." Finally, the cashier says, "You're all set. Have a good day." You answer, "Thanks, you too." That is a normal supermarket checkout. Most answers are short, simple, and predictable. You do not need advanced English. You mainly need to recognize a few common patterns. Bag usually means the cashier is asking whether you need one. Card usually means the conversation has moved to payment. Receipt usually means the checkout is almost finished. Anything else usually means the cashier is checking whether you need one more thing. Context helps you understand even when you miss a few words. And if you really do not understand, you can always ask the cashier to repeat the question. You can say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" You can also say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that." These are normal phrases and there is no reason to feel embarrassed. The more often you hear checkout English, the more familiar it becomes. One day, you will notice that you understood the question before translating it in your head. That is the goal of this kind of listening practice. You are training your ears to recognize real-life English automatically. Listen again another day and let the same patterns become even more familiar. The next time you stand at the checkout, notice how many of these phrases you recognize. Little by little, the conversation will start to feel normal. Thanks for listening.